Hey, Kudombo. Here is the interface I'm going to be sending you tomorrow. So you got two inputs. You can either put an XLR or a quarter-inch cable into either of these two. So if you're going to do like a vocal mic and do a condenser, you do an XLR in here. And then, I think it might actually automatically add phantom power to it so you don't have to worry. Oh no, okay. So yeah, back here there is a switch for phantom power. So if you're using a mic, a condenser mic that needs to be powered, turn that on. If you're just plugging in your bass, you don't need this on. Here's the USB cord, so that goes into your Mac. The square side, where the hell is it? Here it is. This square side goes in there. And that's it. You don't need a power cord. The computer will power this thing. And here are extra line. There's a line output. So if you have two studio monitors that you want to plug in and listen to it through monitors instead of headphones, you can do that. I never use this, so I don't know what that is. I just use these. So usually what I'll have is an XLR to a condenser mic for vocals, and then my guitar cable in here. And then, I guess, yeah, these I don't think I ever mess with these, but I think what it's for is, I think if it's one or the other. If this is plugged in, or if this is pushed in, it activates this input. And if it's pushed out, it activates the back input, or vice versa. So you'll have to play with it and see. So if you plug in your guitar cable and you do all the other stuff that I'm going to show you, and you don't hear any sound, then try to push this in and see if that helps. Direct monitor, I don't know what that is. I'm assuming you're going to be using headphones. So you can either use the headphone jack here or in your Mac, I'm assuming. Here's your levels. So you're going to adjust your levels with these knobs, headphone level as well, and your output if you had monitors. So this is the interface. I don't think you'll need any more than that. And this is a pretty decent interface. It's in good condition too, so that should work for you. Okay, so now I'm going to go and switch over to Garageband and show you how to set it up and all that stuff. Okay, so I just opened up GarageBand. I'm not sure what version you're using, or if you're using the latest version. This should be the latest version. So if it looks a little bit different, then you're probably on a different version. But I click on the GarageBand icon, and then this window pops up. You're going to do empty project. Let's see what details there are. Okay, so you can change all these details later too. Here's important. So once you plug in that M Audio mobile pre interface, you're probably, I think it's supposed to automatically, your laptop, your Mac should automatically see it, and it should be in here. When you go to input device, it should say mobile pre or something like that. And then you're going to choose that and choose it for your output device too. Songs in 4/4, whatever tempo you end up using, just type it in here. Whatever the key is, it doesn't really matter. It only matters if you want to use samples and all of that stuff. So you don't need to put the key if you don't want to. But yeah, so you do all that, click choose, and what it's going to pop up is right here. You're going to, if you're going to connect a guitar, so I'm going to use either one of these two, either record using a microphone or line input, or this one right here. So this is just going to, it's going to be like a DI. It's just going to record your bass. This, and I'll do it right now that way. Oh, and make sure you want to hear your instrument when you play and record. You're going to choose your input. So on the interface that I have, that I'm sending you, there's two inputs. So whichever one you're plugged into, if you're plugged into the first one, you use input 1. If you're plugged into the second one, you use input 2. So when I was explaining earlier that I have my vocal mic in input 1 and my guitar mic in input 2, if I'm going to be doing a guitar track, then I would use input 2. But depending on how you set it up, you might just have your bass in there in input 1, so you would choose input 1. So then you click create, and now you've got your window right here, and you've got your track. So I used that other option, the guitar track option. So what that does is that brings up, you can go through all these different effects and libraries and choose your bass sound. So I go to electric guitar and bass, and then I go to bass, and there's clean bass, and there's all these different styles of bass amps that you can choose from. You can have a crunch bass, you can have experimental bass. So you can do all this on that other option where it's just like a DI. You just add this stuff in later. Whereas when you choose the guitar track, this stuff is already here for you to use. And I think it's harder to go back to a DI clean sound from this track. And then it's also a little bit more, it's more steps if you use DI and you don't like your natural bass sound, and then you have to add all this stuff later. So either one, you can do either one from either setting. It's just harder. That's why there's two different settings for you to choose from. So anyways, this is the guitar setting, and then you can pick your amp. You can have Apple uses its own terms, like big stack. I think that's an Ampeg. It's like trying to model an Ampeg. I think they have what are the other ones? Mesa Boogie, it looks like. So you can mess around. There's so many options, and I'm using Logic, which is like the professional version of GarageBand, and there's like just so many different things that you could choose from. It's almost a waste of time, but it's cool. If you know what sound you're going for, you can most likely find it. So anyways, you choose your sound, and then I think you just start recording. You push record, and just start playing. And so this 1, 2, 3, 4. This button means it'll count off before it starts recording. So when you hit record and the track head is on 1, it'll count from 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it'll start recording. So if you're recording and you mess up on the start of measure 8, and you hit record, it'll pre-roll at 7, at measure 7, and then start recording at 8. So that gives you a little bit of time to get situated or whatever. And I think you could even change it in the settings so that the count off is 2 measures. I think default is just 1 measure. This button is so that the metronome plays along. I don't know if you can hear that or not. So if you don't want the metronome, say you have a drum track or whatever, you can turn that off. And then, okay, so once you have your track recorded, I think what you do is you go to, just trying to remember here. I think you export song to disk. So you choose where you want to save it, and then you choose the type of file that you want. So AAC is pretty good file. MP3 is the worst type, but even MP3 is okay. And AIFF and WAV, those files are both lossless. So it's the quality that you record. So probably the best two would be to either save it as an AIFF, and I would do uncompressed 24-bit, because I can always change it to 16-bit if I need to. But if I need it at 24 and it's 16, I can't change it to 24. And then same thing with WAV. So I would save them either as AIFF or WAV, hit export, and then just send me that file. And that should be it. So yeah, hopefully you can. Oh yeah, so down here also, you're gonna wanna. This is my one of my interfaces. So you can choose no input. You would choose the mobile pre interface. So make sure that's there. You can toggle between having a stereo and a mono file. You can choose your record level. You can choose your gate. You have all these different plugins. And I think that's when using the guitar setting. So let's say I wanted to add another track, and we go over here and we use the line input. So this track is just going to have your basic settings, and I guess you can also, okay, so you can also use these effects. I don't remember how to get rid of these things if you don't want to use them. Yeah, I don't know. So anyways, if you want to delete, just hit delete. You can delete that track, start over again, and just have a clean track. So yeah, it's pretty easy. Let me know if you have any questions, or if I didn't cover something, but that should be it. If you have your laptop, you just plug the interface in. It should automatically read it. And when you open up GarageBand and you create a new project, you should be able to select the interface, and then yeah, just plug in the bass and start recording. All right, man. Let me know if that works. I'll send over that interface as soon as I can. And yeah, that's it. All right, man. Bye.